You are listening to Hello Cupcake, It's Me, a podcast with your host, Michael Peterson.
Hey everyone, Michael here with Hello Cupcake, It's Me, a podcast, and today is the Thursday podcast, season 4, episode 21. So, how the hell is everyone? If you haven't done so already, please hit like and subscribe, then head on over to youtube.com/hellocupcakeitsme to check out the YouTube channel that is updated every Wednesday and Saturday. Also, follow me on TikTok for TikTok Tuesdays. Follow me on all the other social medias. And if you would like to get your hand on a copy of my book, you can do so by going over to cdsthebook.com. And also make sure that you give the blog hellocupcakeitsme.com some love, and let's get into it. So, it has been a really roller coaster esque last few days. Um, a lot of important work and just trying to make it to meetings and trying to like coordinate schedules and the whole 9 yards. And my God, it has just been a bear. um, you know, if you tuned into to Wednesday's YouTube, then you will already know what's kind of going on. But I will just do a quick recap here. So, I have been taking some steps that could work out for my benefit for the better and completely change my life. But I am not putting too much stock um, into what's going on right now, and I'm being uh, intentionally vague just because, um, one, I don't want negativity or whatever to like really upset any plans that I have, or trying to um trying to just bring to fruition, right? So, anyways, like I said, I have a lot of stuff that I'm shuffling around on my plate and just trying to get myself from point A to point G with as less stress as probable. And, um, you know, I've been able to kind of push my limits, and it's been kind of nice dusting off some of those facilities of mine. It seems as if life has been going in two separate directions, and I'm caught in the undertow of it, where the rest of the world is speeding by, and we already find ourselves kind of knocking on June's door. I still feel like it's December. So my internal clock is off, and I think it's partly due to the dissociative identity disorder and just being in this like mental pause right now. Um, there's a ton of stuff that's going on that part of me just wants and needs to complete, but then there's the other sides of me that are just kind of warming their hands by the dumpster fire that I symbolically find myself in right now. Um, I'm trying to make some big changes in my life, like I said, and at the same time, it feels like I'm dragging these weights around that are keeping me from moving forward, and that by doing so, I'm falling into this complacent pseudo hibernation mode where I'm really not doing anything of value or feeling like I'm making any kind of leeway. Um, But dusting off that professional side of me and trying to connect the dots and make these lateral moves is nice and refreshing, as it's a side of me that I tend to really love but don't get to use all that often. Spending hours in front of the computer doing research and networking, sending emails, just being office productive. Meanwhile, my other personalities and the other part of me wants to do nothing more than to be that teenager sitting in front of the TV playing video games and waiting for mom to come home and make dinner, while still yet the other parts of me want to retreat or fix up my living space and go into this like full domestic mode. And then there's this like kind of main me that is feeling off, of just feeling off, and this internally having racing thoughts and feeling all of this internally and having all these racing thoughts, while also having needs and wants that do not align with any other part of me. Um, my physical health is declining due to a lack of daily movement outside of the swimming that I've been doing. And, I'm no longer walking or doing any physical activities like I was. And I've lost all momentum for that again. And I'm mad at myself for allowing that to be lost. So, what's the solution? I really don't currently know. All that I do know is that I am basically running on endorphins and sprite in spite right now. And I have tried getting myself back into doing some of the things that used to bring me joy, like making jewelry. And I've showcased a couple of pieces of my jewelry on the YouTube channel. And just trying to like be creative again, and um starting to cook at home again. Like, I love to cook. That is something that absolutely tickles my fancy, and had things worked out the way I wanted them to, I would have gone to Le Cordon Bleu and learned how to cook professionally. But my father, in his infinite wisdom, um didn't seem to think that there was any money to be made as a cook. And so I was just like, you know what, okay. And you know what, I don't mean to make that like come out as rude or as harsh as it was, like that whole my father and his infinite wisdom. My dad was a smart man. It was just he didn't see the value in certain things. And so when he heard that I wanted to go to school to learn how to cook, he was thinking more like the mom and pop restaurant in our little town that I grew up in, and not like the Michelin star cuisine of like Wolfgang Puck or any of the other celebrity chefs or well-known chefs. And honestly, looking back at it now, I don't think that I would have really liked the cooking industry. It would have been nice to have some of those skill sets under my belt, but um, things just worked out the way that they did. Uh, I went to school for a couple of years and didn't finish out my college degree because, well, I thought I fell in love, and there's that whole story, and um, not something I'm going to get into right now, but um, yeah, so there was just a lot of I wonder what would have happened if I made that left turn out Albuquerque. That saying from Bugs Bunny really sticks with me. But I don't regret any of my decisions. Um, the decisions that I are the things that I would change aren't regrets. They are just, had I been in a different headspace, had I known what I know now type situation. It's not like looking back and regretting not doing those things. It's just looking back and like, yeah, had I been more proactive, things could have changed out. But, during that time period, I was doing XYZ, which has helped me in this part of my life. So, I try to take a very Dao De Ching uh, approach to life in that, uh, just be like water, free flowing and shapeless. And, um, yeah, so, anyways, but I've been talking with my therapist quite a bit, working side by side with her, and just getting through a lot of things, and just having that group meetings that we have every 2 weeks, and just having that other person who kind of connects with me and just has that BFF vibe. I hate the fact that I'm older than her by like four, what is it, like 5 or 6 years, and I'm just like, I flat told her the other day in group, I was like, you know what, fuck you for that, because I'm like the oldest person here in group now, and yeah, so it was funny, but anyways, so yeah, just taking being mindful of my own mental health like I always am, and trying to be mindful of others, and helping people through whenever I have the chance to connect with somebody one on one. So yeah, that's all been pretty awesome. The other thing, I have started writing again. I don't know that it's going to be a full time thing, but I came up with the idea for yet another book, and that's kind of like sitting on my brain itching. And so I sat down the other day and I designed the entire book cover and started the first couple of pages of it. And it's going to be a mental health book, but this one is going to be mental health and spirituality, and focused more on a spiritual path that is up and coming versus like traditional Christian Catholicism type of a uh, spirituality path. This is more nature based and like meditative and things like that. So um, I've also reached out to a couple of friends who are thinking about helping me with this book. And I even told them, I said, you could take the entirety of the concept and make it yours. I just feel that the book needs to be out in the universe. And I will develop the cover and everything else for you, and um, get get it published. So we'll see if that takes place. None of the books that I wrote or intend to write am I seeking to try to make a profit off of it. Like, they're just stories. There are things that I'm just trying to get out into the world, especially like with Carpe Diem Scroto. When I wrote that book, it was literally during some of the worst times of my life, mentally speaking. And each one of the daily affirmations was like a love letter written to me by myself. And I was posting them on Facebook, and uh, all my friends and family were like, Michael, you should write a book. Like, you really should write a book. And so I was like, you know what the hell? And so, just haphazardly, kind of leisurely, I compiled all of those daily entries into the book. And once I had completed 365 days of my own stuff, then that's when I really got into, like, okay, now I got to make a book cover for this. Now I got to look into how to publish that and all of the stuff that went with that. And I reached out to some publishers, and the publishers that I reached out to were like, well, we really want nonfiction right now. And so, yeah, I'm just like, well, you have other books in your wheelhouse that kind of fall into this category, but whatever, cool. I know that rejection letters, especially without literary agents, are very common because they want you to have some kind of agent or some kind of publicist that does all the dirty work for you. And I didn't have thousands of dollars to throw at this. I think total it was about $750 is what I spent on publishing my book. It might have been between 750 and 1500, but yeah, I really didn't keep a running total. I just know like individual prices. Like my ISBN number cost me I want to say like $132. But if no, it was like less than 100. And anyways, it's not important. I just bought the one ISBN number. I wanted to buy the 10 pack because it was actually going to be cheaper in the long run, but I was stressing about the capital and trying to figure out like where that money was coming from, plus getting the books printed, even at an author's printing. Each one of my books was like $14 or $15. And so anyways, yeah, I make enough money off of the sales of my book to have printed out new books, and that's all I really wanted. And I have the like royalty commissions that I make off of the sale of each book is like 32 cents. Like I set it down to the actual bare minimum, and that's as far down as I could, as the publisher would allow me to set it. So I just wanted people to have access to the information in the book. So moving right along, because I didn't want this to be an entire thing about just my book or whatever. So yeah, I have a lot of stuff just going on right now, and not really knowing how or where or when things are going to change, but trying to at least get that change going. So yeah, I think that's about it for now. So thank you for tuning in, and you can catch my next video on Saturday, and always catch the podcast on every Thursday. And yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go, but remember, you are doing the best you can with what you have available to you. And in a world full of Karens, be somebody who cares in the world. And I will talk to you guys later. Bye, everyone. Boop.
Hey you! Tired of mental health books that feel like homework or therapy sessions in disguise? Carpe Diem Scroto is not that book. Written by author Michael Peterson, utilizing his own personal mental health journey, it's your daily dose of clarity, humor, and healing, designed to meet you exactly where you are. Whether you're sipping coffee in chaos or taking a quiet minute for yourself, this book gives you real, raw tools to reframe your day, your mindset, and your life. Unlike anything else on the market, Carpe Diem Scroto blends personal storytelling, practical mental health strategies, and a keep-it-real attitude that makes self-work feel like self-empowerment. Use it daily, share it with a friend, or grow at your own pace. Ready to reclaim your day with bite-sized brilliance? Head to www.cdsthebook.com to grab your copy or learn more.
Thank you so much for tuning in. You have been listening to Hello Cupcake, It's Me, a podcast with your host, Michael Peterson. Please make sure to check back often as new episodes are released bi-weekly. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please feel free to send a message to hellocupcakeitsme@gmail.com. And until next time, stay happy, safe, and keep doing the best you can with what you have been given.